quick and easy. And on all the questions that we hear on the Chew, the one that I get asked the most often is, can I make this ahead of time? So I have got a grocery game plan to shop a few ingredients for a freezer-friendly dessert that I just absolutely love. Here's what you're going to need. You're going to need honey from the baking aisle. You're going to need walnuts and pistachios from the ball section. You're going to need phyllo dough from the freezer section, an orange from the produce aisle, and graham crackers from the snack aisle. Now, I know you're asking, what are you making? Well, let me tell you what I'm making. This is a taste of my childhood. I am going to show you how to make my mother's baklava. Now, I grew up eating this as a kid. It is my absolutely favorite thing when I go home to have. And the great thing about it is my mom makes a bunch of it at a time and freezes it, and you can have it all year long after you freeze it. So the first thing that we have here are we have the pistachios, equal parts pistachio walnuts. Those go in. A teaspoon of cinnamon, a nice pinch of salt, and my mother's secret ingredient, graham cracker crumbs. And this is what really makes the baklava hold together and makes it kind of so delicious and cuts through a little bit of that sweetness. And I just pulse this all together. This is the nut mixture. Now, as this is pulsing, over here I have the phyllo dough. Now, people freak out sometimes with phyllo dough. They're like, I can't work with it. It's too hard to work with. It's not nearly as hard to work with as you think. Buy fresh if you can, frozen if you can't. Either one is good. And go with the number 2 phyllo dough because it is a little thicker and easier to work with. Now, I open it out of the package, and we have it under a paper towel. You're going to want to keep a damp towel because that is what allows you to work with it. So as I'm going to start to build this, I'm going to call on my little helpers, Clinty and Carla, in their ugly sweater. For 2, you guys look fantastic. How are you?
Thank you. We're good. We're close.
That may be an ugly sweater, but to me, it just looks beautiful on YouTube.
Thanks, Mikey.
Initially, Clint and I were going to try to do this in a sweater, but there was a height difference between us that the sweater didn't really work so well. So the other important thing for baklava is the glaze. So for the glaze, I have 1.5 cups of sugar, 3/4 of a cup of water, 1 cup of honey. Very important. 2 tablespoons of lemon and 1 strip of orange zest. And you're going to bring this up to a simmer, and that's going to be the glaze. So with the phyllo dough, we laid down the phyllo dough. We did 10 sheets of phyllo dough. A sheet butter, a sheet butter, a sheet butter till you got to 10. Now I take the first part of my nuts, the mixture, the walnuts, the breadcrumb, or the walnuts, the graham crackers, and the pistachios, and I put that layer in. Now we start our second layer of the baklava, and you go 1 layer of phyllo. Then you have to butter between each layer. One of the biggest mistake non-Greeks make when making baklava, they're like, oh, that butter's gonna kill me, I'm not using it. You have to butter every layer, every single time. So the in-between layers, the important thing to know here is the in-between layers are 4. So the bottom layer and the top layer are 10 layers of phyllo. So you go 10 layers of phyllo, nuts. 4 layers of phyllo, nuts. 4 layers of phyllo, nuts. 4 layers of phyllo, nuts. And then 10 layers on top till you get to the top. So here we go. This is the top. We're going to cut this into triangles. I'm going to brush this with a little more butter. We're going to cut this into triangles. We're going to bake this at 350 degrees for 1 hour. When we get back, I'm going to show you how to finish it with the glaze. It's going to be fantastic. Stick around. My grocery game plan for a freezer-friendly sweet. My mom's baklava. So we took this out of the oven, 350, 1 hour. It's still warm. This beautiful glaze that my little elves made goes over top. This is incredibly important. Now, once the glaze goes on, you have about a half hour to let it eat. But what my mom does is she actually puts the glaze on and lets it sit overnight. Yes. And once that glaze soaks in, she cuts it and portions it. And we have right here the portion baklava. Now here, get in there.
Okay.
Now, one of the great things about this, I said earlier, is it freezes. So once you would portion it like this, my mom puts it in double Ziploc bags and literally gives it out to friends all year long.
Angel, this is heaven.
The texture is
It's
still a little crunchy,
No.
not too sweet.
It's not at all.
Nutty, delicious.
The graham crackers are a game changer.
The secret to, I think, my mom's baklava is the graham crackers make it hold together. She used to make it with those little children's Schweibel's cookies. They stopped making those. She went to graham crackers. Also that she puts the orange peel and the lemon in the glaze, which cuts through a little bit of the sweetness. So it's not so cloyingly sweet, but it holds together when you eat it, and that's what the graham crackers do. Mom, I love you. This baklava is everything to me.
Angel, you're an angel.
Oh, it's good.
Look at her, she's so pretty. Adorable.
That's a fun show today.
It was so fun.
I love that Ginger C.
Oh, I love her. She's so great.